One drink, okay? One drink, and I'll send you on your merry way. Please?
Okay.
Good.
One drink.
Great.
Creep is a 2014 found-footage horror film written by and starring Patrick Brice and Mark Duplass. The film also serves as Patrick Brice's directorial debut. Brice plays a struggling filmmaker named Aaron, who takes a job to spend a day filming a stranger in a remote cabin in the San Bernardino Mountains. The drive is a long one, and Aaron rightfully appears pretty nervous about driving to a remote cabin, but $1,000 is $1,000. Shortly arriving at the cabin, Aaron doesn't find anybody to be home, and is greeted only by the disturbing sight of an axe lodged firmly on a tree stump. After waiting just long enough to make the decision to cut his losses and head back, it's here that he meets Joseph, who seems to appear out of thin air. Joseph is his subject for the day, and despite a bit of a shaky introduction, he comes across as a friendly person, albeit a little weird.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is gonna be a good day.
Yeah.
You have a really nice, kind face.
Joseph explains to Aaron that the reason for having him filmed is because that he's been diagnosed with terminal cancer, and his wife Angela is currently pregnant with their son. Joseph goes on to say that since he won't be around to experience life with his child, he wants Aaron to film a sort of video diary for him, so that his kid can go back and look at the footage and have an idea of what his father was like. Joseph clearly makes Aaron a little bit uncomfortable, but like any compassionate professional, he buckles down and gets started, and even seems to find a spark of inspiration in the act of helping a stranger. Joseph begins to show Aaron around the cabin and explains that the property is owned by his family, and that he's been visiting the area nearly every year since he was a child. It's during this scene that we're also introduced to Peach Fuzz, a deeply unsettling wolf character that Joseph says was created by his father.
Hello, my name is Peach Fuzz. I might look like I eat you up, but I'm as friendly as a rabbit.
After the tour of the cabin, Joseph takes Aaron on a long hike through the woods. He tells Aaron that there's supposedly an ancient spring near a heart-shaped stone formation that was believed by the Native Americans of the region to have healing properties. After Joseph runs, hides, and scares Aaron for the second time of the day,
Hey, man! Is everything okay?
you can tell that Aaron is getting increasingly disturbed by Joseph's behavior. Like, asking him questions like this.
Can I ask you a question and you'll answer me honestly?
Okay.
When you saw that axe out front of the house, was there a small part of you that thought I might kill you with it?
Yeah, but I didn't know you.
You did? That's great.
This apprehension seems to disappear once the two actually find the spring, and they have a genuinely sweet moment where they do a sort of cleansing ritual on each other with the water. This newfound friendship is short-lived, however, because on the way back from the spring, the two stop at a diner, and this short interaction occurs.
Has the best goddamn pancakes in the world. You still hungry? All right, I'm buying lunch.
All right, let's do it.
Let's get out of here.
Okay.
Let's see what's good here.
Pancakes, right? Didn't you say you used to come here with your family?
What's that?
Didn't you used to come here for years?
Oh, yeah. No, it's just they changed the menu. So I was curious if there was anything else. But yeah, I mean, obviously the pancakes are the thing.
Now, someone might be able to chalk this up to a simple miscommunication, or perhaps someone misspeaking, but after this, Joseph confesses to Aaron that he not only watched him from the woods when he first arrived at the cabin, he also took photos of him, claiming to do so because he wasn't sure if he could be trusted. At this point, Aaron has already put up with far more than the average person would in pursuit of the bag, but after arriving back at the cabin from the diner, Joseph still manages to convince him to come inside for a quick drink. It's here that, after a few more drinks, Joseph asks Aaron to to turn off the camera because he has a confession to make. However, Aaron simply covers the camera and leaves it recording, and it's here that Joseph confesses to Aaron that he once sexually assaulted his wife in the Peach Fuzz mask, which proves to be Aaron's last straw. He desperately tries to leave the cabin, but is unable to find his keys. Joseph tries to calm Aaron down and tells him that he should stay in the cabin tonight and leave in the morning, since he's already had a few drinks and his keys will be easier to find in the daylight. Aaron pretends to agree to this, but tricks Joseph into drinking enough to make him pass out. While Joseph is passed out, Aaron manages to reach into the pocket of his jacket, but doesn't find his keys. He does, however, manage to find Joseph's cell phone, which immediately starts to loudly ring. Thinking fast, Aaron takes the phone, hiding in the bathroom just off the living room, and answers. The call is from Angela, but it doesn't go the way that Aaron thought it would.
Hello?
Hello?
Angela?
Joseph?
No, this is Aaron.
Oh, is Joseph there, please?
He's sleeping.
I'm sorry, who is this?
Aaron, your husband hired me.
What?
Your husband hired me to film him. For the cancer.
Listen, I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and just leave. Right now.
What the fuck's going on? Lady, I'm trying to leave. I can't find my fucking car keys.
Okay? That's okay. Just give me the address of where you are, and then just walk out of there right now. Just keep walking, okay?
Am I in danger right now?
My brother has problems.
Aaron eventually finds Joseph out on the balcony, where he confronts him about having talked to Angela. This news immediately causes Joseph to sprint into the house and down the stairs to the ground level. Aaron slowly follows, and at the bottom of the stairs, blocking the only entrance or exit, is Joseph in the Peach Fuzz mask.
Why are you doing this to me? Are you just trying to scare me? Or... Okay, well, I'm terrified, okay? You won.
The two engage in a brief struggle before the footage stops and cuts to a still camera shot. Joseph lurches into the frame as he drags two garbage bags up the side of the mountain. He then picks up a shovel and starts digging. Suddenly, the camera turns, and we see that this footage is being recorded by Aaron from his living room TV. After somehow managing to escape from Crestline, Aaron explains that he got the video he's showing us in the mail. Following this, he begins to record himself as things only begin to escalate further. One night, Aaron begins to hear noises outside of his house. As he turns on the lights to investigate, we see Joseph standing on the other side of his front door, managing to hide just as Aaron turns around. But he catches a glimpse of movement out of the corner of his eye and goes outside to investigate. But after going into his backyard and finding his garbage bin turned over, he chalks the incident up to raccoons. Aaron tries to file a report with the police for a stalker, but since he doesn't know Joseph's last name, or even if Joseph is his real name, and there doesn't seem to be any immediate risk, the police, as usual in these sort of situations, both in real life and in film, prove to be completely worthless. Finally, Aaron gets a final tape from Joseph. In the tape, Joseph asks him to meet at an open public park on the side of a lake so that they can just talk. Likely because of the openness of the location and the fact that the meeting is occurring in broad daylight, Aaron agrees to go, if for no other reason than to perhaps finally get an opportunity to actually get a restraining order against this guy. Aaron sets his camera up in his car with a full view of the bench that he plans to meet Joseph at, with the police on speed dial on his phone. As Aaron sits, waiting for Joseph, he appears behind him. Aaron continues to look ahead as Joseph puts on the Peach Fuzz mask, removes an axe from his coat, and quickly brings it down on Aaron's head. The footage pauses, and the camera turns to Joseph. Joseph speaks to the now dead Aaron, commending him for recording the interaction and having the police on speed dial, but asks him why he didn't turn around. He concludes that this was because Aaron had a trusting and kind nature, and this was what made him Joseph's favorite. I think that this is definitely my favorite found footage movie. Its premise is presented simply and efficiently, and the way that it ties our reason for having seen this footage directly into a story that until now had been tied only to these two people makes the experience of watching hauntingly intimate. The original working title for the movie was Peach Fuzz, but I really do think Creep is perfect, because truly, until the last 20 minutes of the movie, the only thing Joseph is, well, a creep. There's something innately unsettling about him from the very moment we meet him, but because he's putting on a friendly face and isn't being overtly psychotic, Aaron gives him the benefit of the doubt. I think that this sort of thing speaks to a lot of us. How in life so many of us put up with unsettling or strange behavior or people that make us uncomfortable because we're trying to be polite or non-judgmental. I see a lot of people in online discussions about this movie give Aaron a hard time because he's stupid for not getting out of this situation sooner. But I don't think a lot of those people have ever been freelance workers or even worked in customer service. When you're getting paid to interact with these people, or worse yet, if they're actually the ones paying you don't really have a whole lot of say in the matter. I see myself in that part of Aaron. I've definitely been in plenty of professional and social situations where I've tolerated certain strange but not overtly offensive behaviors for the sake of keeping the peace and being polite. To be completely honest, as much as I hate to admit it, if I were in Aaron's shoes, I'd probably have done everything exactly the same. Yes, seeing the photos in the diner should have been Aaron's line, and I think that wake-up call is part of why he's so agitated in that scene in the kitchen. He's angry at Joseph for doing whatever sick fucking power play this is supposed to be, but he's also angry at himself for letting things progress this far. But honestly, before Joseph shows Aaron the photos in the diner, it's not like he has any explicit reason to believe that he's in any immediate danger. Like, up to this point, from Aaron's perspective, yes, Joseph is a weirdo and kind of an asshole, but the guy's paying him, and you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Joseph is also a really interesting horror movie villain, because it's so hard to tell when he's lying as part of this character he's putting on for Aaron, or when he may be offering insights into the real version of himself. Is the scene where Aaron films him in the tub just Joseph trying to sell this image of a loving father, or is it Joseph ruminating on his own upbringing, his own profound loneliness and isolation? When Aaron finds Joseph out on the balcony, seemingly in the middle of an intense existential crisis, is this just a last-ditch desperate effort to try and garner a little bit more sympathy from Aaron? Or is it an actual peek into Joseph's psyche? Upon multiple viewings of the movie, you can see how much joy Joseph gets in successfully pulling the wool over Aaron's eyes, and presumably his other victims as well. Perhaps he sees this, ultimately, as a path to immortality, to someday be known as the one to have committed such atrocities. Ultimately, I think the movie is a really fun watch, especially when you show it to people who are going into it completely blind and don't know what to expect. Creep and its sequel, Creep 2, are currently available on Netflix, and with horror season upon us, these would make a great double feature movie night. If you like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.